Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I wanted to share with you another clear example of how Western media is taking advantage of their readers in order to push their agenda in a very dishonest way. Basically, there have been many different articles published on various publications claiming that there is a Saudi wife tracking app. And they're publicly discussing whether or not tech companies should allow such an application to exist on their platforms. The app that they're referring to is Abshir. Anyone who's familiar with this application, anyone who's lived in Saudi Arabia, probably thinks that any of these so-called journalists referring to it as a wife tracking app are joking. But the sad reality is that the vast majority of their readers have no idea what Abshir actually is, so they can say whatever they want about it, and their readers are automatically going to believe them. However, I myself, having lived in Saudi Arabia for the past 8 years, I'm very familiar with Abshir. It's a very convenient government system that an individual can use to keep track of their passport information, their health insurance, their vehicle insurance, their driver's license, their vehicle registration. They can see if they have any traffic violations, and it's a great, easy to use system, and I don't think anybody in their right mind would refer to it as a wife tracking app. So how is it that you have all of these publications making such a bold claim? Well, that's because Abshir also deals with a person's visas. And anybody who's ever traveled to Saudi Arabia to make the pilgrimage, Hajj or Umrah, visit Mecca, visit Medina, you know that in order to enter and leave the country, you need visas. Just like you need some sort of government permission to enter and leave America, or basically any other country on the face of the earth. So for example, I came to Saudi Arabia under a student visa. Therefore, I was sponsored by the university where I was studying. So in order for me to get an exit or entry visa, it would have to be issued by the university. It's the university who is responsible for issuing my residence ID, renewing it when it expires, paying for and issuing me exit and re-entry visas, tickets to travel home during the summer, so on and so forth. Essentially, the university takes care of me. Now let's say that a student living in Saudi Arabia brings his wife. Now his wife is living with him in the kingdom and his children, and now this man, this husband, this father, he is the one who is responsible for taking care of his family. He is the one responsible for taking care of them, protecting them, providing for them, and he's also responsible for issuing their visas. Now, just because of that fact, just because a father and a husband is the one responsible for issuing visas for his family to travel, the Western media took this and they're calling Abshir a wife tracking app. They're raising questions and concerns. Should we allow such an app to exist? Meanwhile, you can log into iTunes right now and download an app, I quote, primarily designed for those interested in having an affair. This refined dating app has been tailored to provide you with the best discreet dating experience online. There are apps right now not only for online dating, but specifically just to hook up. There are specific apps for people who they don't want to have a relationship. They just want to find somebody, meet up, fornicate, and leave. These sorts of apps are apparently okay, yet they're attacking Abshir. Has the West gone so far astray from traditional family values that any semblance of a family structure looks oppressive to them? Has the West forgot what a family even is or how it functions? In order for a family to work, you have to acknowledge the fact that men have certain rights and responsibilities and women have certain rights and responsibilities. Saudi Arabia, for example, is an Islamic country. They have certain Islamic values. Every Muslim knows that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he taught us that the best of us are those who are best to our families. Men have a responsibility to take care of, provide for, show affection to their wives, their children, their families. And in this case with Abshir, amongst their responsibilities is a very simple thing: issuing their visas. For a society to just assume that this is some sort of backwards, crazy, oppressive thing is extremely disturbing. Why would you assume that every man, every husband, every father is an abusive oppressor? Has that been your unfortunate experience in your society? Given the direction that the family has been heading in the West, they have absolutely no business whatsoever telling Saudi Arabia what constitutes a strong family structure. In Saudi Arabia, men marry their women. Men take care of their wives. They take care of their families. Of course, you have exceptions here and there, but if we're going to generalize, then how should one generalize about women in the West? How many of them are in healthy relationships? How many of them are having children out of wedlock? How many fathers are taking care of them and their children? How many of them could care less if they were ever issued a visa or traveled or dropped off the face of the earth? This is just another very embarrassing attempt for them to try to push their ideology down the throats of their readers who really don't know any better because they've never lived in Saudi Arabia. They don't know about Islamic values. I encourage all of you to not believe the hype. No society is perfect. However, the West might want to think about what's going on with their women, with the family structure. Right now, they're talking about killing babies in the last trimester. How has it reached this point? What's going on with the rape, with the sexual harassment, with the STDs, with the broken homes, with the divorces, with the abortions, with the pregnancies outside of wedlock, with the promiscuity? Perhaps instead of criticizing Muslim countries, you should worry about fixing your own countries. That's all I have to say. Allah knows best. Thank you for watching.